The EPA has determined dead zones in the Chesapeake Bay are the result of agricultural and residential fertilizers promoting algae growth in the summer. What happens is there are organisms in the bay and in the ocean that are called phytoplankton. They're photosynthetic, and they're just like your grass. They love fertilizer. In fact, fertilizer is what's called the limiting factor. They got plenty of sunlight, but they need those ions that are in the fertilizer in order to grow. During the summertime, when you put them on your plants, or when the farmers fertilize their crops, some of that washes into the bay, and it's a process known as eutrophication. Eutrophication, E-U-T-R-A, eutrophication. That's where you get an abundance of minerals and fertilizers in the water, and they grow just blossoms. You might have seen these in lakes around your neighborhoods. In fact, the reason why you have lakes around your neighborhoods is because they're called retention ponds, and they give a place for the fertilizer to go to instead of going straight into the bay. And during the summertime, it's a problem because you get a lot of sunlight, and of course that promotes the growth of this algae bloom, but it blocks sunlight from hitting the bottom of the bay. And these are producing oxygen. They are photosynthetic, but because the water's so warm at the top, it wants to stay at the top. Remember, hot things rise. And so there's no circulation of that oxygen to deeper levels, and because you're blocking the sunlight from hitting the bottom, you kill the plants on the bottom. There's no sunlight down there. This is known as a thermocline. Thermo means temperature or heat. This is where it's very hot at the top, and it dramatically cools down as you go down in depth, and it's colder at the bottom. And it's a very stable water. There's no turnover mixing that oxygen to lower levels, and so it does create dead zones in the Chesapeake Bay. This, however, you can't point to one particular farm saying you're the problem. It's a widespread problem, and so this would be non-point source pollution. We know it's a problem, but it's coming from a large areas that you can't point to and say that's the particular problem. If we fix that one area right there, everything, because it's so widespread and used, every residential neighborhood uses it. All the farms are using it, and you don't know exactly where that's coming from. So this will be a non-point source pollution problem.